Thank you. So, I'm Giulia Barone. I'm working in the ENEL group dealing with CO2 policies at the European and international level. This afternoon, the question I was asked to answer, to tackle at least, it's the 1.5 degree target feasible. And I would like to start with some reasons to be optimistic, in my opinion. Because nowadays we are acting in a world in which low carbon technologies can compete alongside other conventional sources in the market, in the power markets, and we can see the outcome of the auction, for example, happening in Latin America. We are acting in a world where the exploitation of unconventional reserves, gas and oil reserves in North America, are lowering the costs for abating emissions, making more feasible reduction target for those countries. And these times also concerns regarding security of supply and energy independence are pushing emphasis on how to best exploit domestic renewable energy sources. And nowadays also, very important, we are increasingly aware about the effects of the fossil fuel combustion on human health and also on ecosystems. And as we discussed a lot this morning, another and maybe one of the most important game changers is the new and increased involvement of new stakeholders into the climate change debate. Traditionally, climate negotiations have been run by governments. In Paris, I've been there, and I saw so many NGOs, think tank, academia, and also the business sector, because I think now everyone is aware that the business sector, the private sector, has to play a role, and there are, together with NGOs and think tank and other new stakeholders, and we can think about a number of initiatives really important. Women in Business, Caring for Climate, led by UN, the Carbon Leadership Coalition, led by the World Bank, trying to link the dots, to link efforts to enlighten best practice. To play their role. And within this context, we agreed in Paris last year the target to keep rising temperature well below 2 degrees with the indicative target to stay within 1.5 degrees. Despite this very positive recent developments, we all know we all are aware of the fact that the ambition agreed in Paris is not enough to be aligned with the 2 degree path. And we can see on the blue line the path, the expected annual emission levels aligned with the cumulative efforts agreed in Paris. And in the I don't have the pointer. Maybe? Oh, it's okay. There are the colors. So, and in the green line, we can see the cost-effective path. So the ambition agreed in Paris is not enough, and the point is now how to fill the gap. And on the right side, we can see a number of technology solutions, and we can see that most of them are already available under a technological perspective. And then if we sum renewables and uses efficiency, we cover 2/3 of the efforts required to fill this gap to the 1.5 or at least 2 degree path. As ENEL Group, we are fully aware of this challenge, and because renewable and energy efficiency is our business, so we need to play actively in this energy transition. And I reported our business plan, the 5-year business plan, and out of 17 billion euro investment, we have 9 billion investment for new renewable capacity and almost 6 billion investment for networks and infrastructure, which are key elements to integrate the new technological solution, demand-side technologies, and to ensure also rural electrification, which is one of the most important challenge nowadays. And so this is to point out that the energy transition for us is not just a business for small-scale utility. And for example, Enel utility with a cumulative capacity of almost 90 gigawatts, we are present in more than 30 countries. We can leverage on our global presence. We can leverage on utility scale utility, okay, and add on opportunities for best practice sharing. And this role has been recognized also by the Fortune Index, which recognized us within the 5 companies that can change the world. We are committed also to reach carbon neutrality by 2050, and I appreciate a lot your good news regarding renewables. We are trying to do that path. So the final question is how to move forward. And for us, we identify 3 ingredients that are necessary to move forward for the higher ambition. And the first one regards policy ambition. And so we see we need to increase EU ambition and also the ambition of other major economies. Regarding EU, we think that an increase of EU targets should be right balanced among ETS and non-ETS sector, and should be also set coherently with other targets and pillars of our European strategy. And I'm thinking about renewable target, energy efficiency target, in order to avoid overlapping effect that we experienced in the past and we don't want to experience anymore in the future. And last but not least, our ambition and our future effort should be driven by a meaningful carbon price that can be €5 per ton, because we have a fuel switching price around 25-30 euros, and it's an unmeaningful carbon price of €5. We can do anything with that. The second point regards governance. For us, governance is central, is a crucial element of the Paris Agreement, and in some ways also the element that gives credibility to the agreement. So we need to see a straightforward ratification of the agreement before 2018, at least in occasion of the first global stocktake, emission stocktake. I put the calendar here because it's a quick calendar. We start sooner than we think, to be ready in 2020 for the first pledge review. So we need the straightforward ratification, we need the implementation of governance and MRV procedures, and we need a progressive harmonization of indices submitted by countries. And I would like to put emphasis on this point, because at this time, leveraging of our global presence, we are aware of the big differences among indices. And if we think also to the European indices, it lacks any reference to the renewables, for example, energy efficiency, which are key elements of other indices. So we have different content with different baselines, with different kind of targets, and this is a big barrier to compare efforts and to drive investment, to enlighten which country is more ambitious, in order to help investors in going to the right way. And finally, the third point, we need access to climate finance. In Cancun, many years ago, government have already committed to leverage it to put forward $100 billion per year. And this commitment has been restated this last year in Paris. But up to now, the Green Climate Fund raised just 10 billion cumulatively, of which more than half is just pledged, so is not delivered. So to make the energy transition, we need investment, and we need also access to climate finance in terms of faster and simplified procedures, and in terms of financing instruments. We need the country de-risking instruments, we need grants, we need also a combination of different instruments, and this is very important. And the last point about financial resources, we need greater emphasis of infrastructures. which is an element not really appearing in most of indices, but which is crucial to integrate, as I was saying, new low-carbon solution is crucial for rural electrification. So we need to emphasize the role of energy infrastructure. And I would conclude saying that we want to conceive, we should conceive Paris as a starting point, not as an achievement by itself. And I think that higher ambition is possible and also it's needed. We need to increase our ambition, but before thinking about higher targets, we should make sure that we created the enabling condition to implement in a cost-efficient way what we have already committed for, overcoming this barrier. Thank you.
Thank you very much.